Before we cross into the unknown, leave a hello in the comments. Even the smallest signal can ripple across galaxies, guiding fellow wanderers to this tale. Let me know you're out there. A voice among the stars, listening with me beyond the veil. Engines roared across the frozen expanse of Neptune's orbit as the Sol Vanguard ignited its thrusters, its hull shimmering against the planet's ghostly blue storms. Admiral Kael watched from the command deck as the fleet prepared to deploy long-range probes into the outer dark. "Another star's gone," his science officer whispered, her voice breaking the silence. "Erased, sir. Not collapsed. Consumed." Rin's jaw tightened. The data feeds showed empty voids where suns once burned, as though something had taken bites out of the galaxy itself. Humanity's territory was shrinking, unseen and unstoppable. He gave the order. "Launch all probes. Find who or what is feeding." Hours later, one probe transmitted an anomaly, a wave of energy older than recorded physics. Its source pointed inward, toward Sul. Dr. Arden Cho appeared on the hololink, her eyes haunted. "Admiral, I found patterns in the decay fields. It's not random. The universe is preparing for something." Rin frowned. "Preparing?" "Harvesting," she said. "And it's almost time." Across the bridge, silence reigned as Cho's theory replayed through every mind. The data was irrefutable. Systems vanished in predictable intervals like clockwork extinction. Rin addressed his crew. "We're not witnessing chaos. We're seeing an order. Someone's order." A junior officer muttered, "Then what are we to them?" Rin's gaze turned to the holographic star map, dotted with voids spreading like infection. "Livestock," he answered quietly. Later, Cho briefed the Fleet Council. "Every harvest resets the universe's balance. Civilizations rise until they threaten cosmic stability. Then the cycle purges them." Her fingers trembled over ancient coordinates. But one civilization resisted. They built a weapon beneath Neptune before the last cycle ended. Rin leaned forward. "A weapon, powerful enough to fight the harvesters?" Cho nodded slowly. "If we can wake it before the next harvest begins." Neptune's atmosphere shimmered as the fleet descended into its upper storms. Lightning arced over the Vanguard's hull as drones deployed through violent pressure currents. Rin's voice echoed through comms. "We're searching for something buried before recorded time. Maintain formation." Cho's scanners pulsed faintly. "There's a structure. Metallic. Deep within the mantle." "Impossible," the pilot muttered. "No metal survives down there." "Unless," Cho said, "it wasn't made here." The first drone pierced Neptune's deeper layers and transmitted a brief flash. Massive rings of interlocking alloys, forming something like a dormant eye. "Admiral," Cho whispered, "that's not a weapon. That's containment." Rin straightened. "Containment for what?" The feed cut to black, the last image showing the metallic rings beginning to move. A tremor rippled through space as Neptune's magnetic field distorted violently. The fleet scrambled, engines burning to maintain orbit. "Sir, the planet's field is destabilizing," cried the navigator. Rin turned to Cho. "You opened it, didn't you?" Her expression was pale. "We didn't open it. It woke up on its own." A low-frequency pulse emanated from the planet, an ancient call spreading through subspace. Across the fleet, systems flickered. Ships reported whispers in their comms, words in languages unknown. "Admiral," Cho said, "the relic is scanning us." "For what?" "For proof of humanity." Rin exhaled slowly. "Then it knows we're back." The relic transmitted data directly into the Vanguard's core. Symbols, histories, star maps of civilizations erased millions of years ago. Cho's eyes widened. "These are the ones who fought the first harvest." "Did they win?" Rin asked. Her face darkened. "They survived long enough to hide this. and to warn us. The message decrypted. When the stars vanish, the reclaimers awaken. Their harvest begins anew. Only the weapon called Echelon can sever the cycle. Rin's grip tightened on the railing. Prepare the excavation teams. If that thing beneath Neptune is Echelon, we'll bring it back. Cho hesitated. Admiral, what if Echelon wasn't meant to save us? Rin's voice was cold steel. Then we'll teach it how. Deep within Neptune's mantle, the relic pulsed like a beating heart. Energy readings surged to impossible levels, distorting space-time around the fleet. Rin stood on the bridge, watching the holographic waveform climb. Report. Admiral, Cho said. The signal's rewriting our sensors. It's communicating, but not with us. Then who? The entire system, she whispered. Suddenly, the planet's orbits shifted by nanometers. Tiny, deliberate adjustments, aligning Sul. Whatever's down there, Rin muttered, it's setting coordinates. A voice crackled through static, metallic, ancient, and vast. Cycle 993 approaches, resistance protocol initializing. The crew froze. Cho gasped. It's self-activating. The relic's energy output spiked, sending a shockwave across Neptune's magnetic field. Rin clenched his fist. Brace for contact. The past just woke up. Long-range scanners screamed warnings. Gravitational anomalies flickered across the outer system. Space twisted as black ripples unfolded like ink in water. Admiral, we're detecting structures emerging from folded space. Rin turned sharply. Origin? Unknown, no mass signature, but they're feeding on the stars themselves. Rin's voice hardened. Then the harvesters are here. The fleet's observation drones caught glimpses. Colossal biomechanical forms drifting through the void, their bodies absorbing stellar energy. Cho's voice trembled. The reclaimers. They're not machines. They're ecosystems, designed to consume creation. Rin watched in silence. Then we fight a hunger older than existence itself. He looked toward Neptune's storming abyss. Echelon. If you're truly our only chance, now would be a good time to wake. Deep inside Neptune, Echelon's containment rings shattered in slow motion, releasing a column of pure light into orbit. Sir, the tactical officer shouted, something's rising, massive and controlled. A circular structure emerged, dwarfing every known human vessel. Cho's hand shook. It's a ship, or what's left of one. Rin stared in awe. The last weapon of the First Age. Data streamed into the Vanguard. Fractal keys, command codes in lost dialects. Echelon spoke again, its voice resonating through every hull. Identification, Homo sapiens. Lineage confirmed. Access granted. Systems throughout the fleet synchronized instantly. Admiral, Cho said, it just linked with us. It knows our history, our wars, even our extinction timelines. Rin's eyes narrowed. Then it knows how to stop them. The relic's memory unfolded. A projection of the first civilization. Giant cities burning beneath devouring skies. Armadas lost against the reclaimers' hunger. Cho whispered. They tried everything. Matter collapse, stellar inversion. Nothing stopped it. Rin replied quietly. Then how did they survive long enough to build Echelon? By sacrificing their star, Cho said. They turned it into a prison. The hologram showed their final act. Echelon sealing itself beneath Neptune as their sun imploded. Cho's voice cracked. They buried their hope here, waiting for us to finish what they couldn't. Rin faced the fleet. Then humanity wasn't the first rebellion, but we might be the last. Outside, Neptune's storms parted, revealing the awakened weapon, silent, immense, and watching. Admiral, Cho said, Echelon's transmitting instructions, something called the First Directive. Rin frowned. Translate. It says, prepare for recalibration. The harvest has already begun. Suddenly, alarms blared, entire sectors across the system blinking out. Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn registered partial dimensional flux. Rin's voice thundered. "Echelon, if you can hear me, tell us how to stop it." The entity replied, its tone almost human. "To stop the harvest, the cycle must be broken. To break the cycle, one universe must die." Cho's face drained of color. "It wants us to destroy a reality. Maybe our own." Rin's jaw clenched. "Then we choose whose world ends." Outside, Echelon's ancient engines roared to life, lighting Neptune's night like the birth of a star. Deep beneath Neptune, Echelon's engines hummed with sentience, resonating across the planet's metallic crust. Cho monitored the energy spikes. "Admiral, it's reacting to our presence. We've never seen anything like this." Rin's fingers drummed against the command console. "Then we test it." Drones drilled into the relic's core, initiating alignment protocols. Light fractured into thousands of holographic shards, each mapping the galaxy. The relic's voice rang across the fleet. "Synchronization complete. Defense matrix online. Primary vectors ready." Cho swallowed. "It's linking with our entire fleet. We're not just commanding it. We're merging with it." Rin straightened. "Then we fight as one." From orbit, Neptune's storms refracted Echelon's energy into space, silent and ominous. The countdown to the harvest had officially begun. Sensors screamed as twisted shadows moved through empty systems. Massive forms, devoid of conventional mass, consumed light itself. "Admiral," the tactical officer shouted, "the reclaimers are here." Rin gritted his teeth. "Prepare weapons. Echelon, link defensive arrays to our main cannons." Outside, the first reclaimer passed a nearby star, leaving it dimmed and hollowed, a corpse of light. Cho analyzed the enemy's movement. "They're not just machines. They adapt. They anticipate." Rin turned to the fleet. "Then we'll force them to anticipate us. Echelon, engage tactical overlay." Energy rippled through every ship, shields entwined, weapons synchronized. The battle was no longer human versus machine. It was a single organism against a cosmic predator. A reclaimer approached Sol itself, consuming Mercury, Venus, and parts of Mars with unnatural hunger. "Admiral, we're losing planets faster than we can react." Rin's eyes burned. "Then we make the edge of time our weapon." Cho frowned. "You can't manipulate time, at least not without risk." Rin's voice was steel. "We risk everything or lose everything. Prepare temporal displacement protocols." Echelon pulsed, generating a localized distortion field around Neptune. Time stretched. Ships moved more slowly. Reclaimers lagged in perception. Cho gasped. "It's bending reality itself." Rin's gaze was fixed on the approaching horde. "Good. We're not just fighting them. We're rewriting the rules." Holograms from Echelon's memory appeared across the fleet. The first civilization sacrifice, their fleets obliterated, stars extinguished to stall the reclaimers. Cho's voice trembled. "They tried, and failed." Rin studied the projections. "Then we must succeed where they could not." Energy beams lanced across space, striking reclaimers' shields. Some dissolved instantly, others adapted, growing more monstrous. "Admiral," a pilot yelled. "Incoming swarm from folded space." Rin gritted his teeth. "Then we give them something they didn't see coming." Echelon emitted a high-frequency pulse, warping the swarm mid-approach. The enemy fractured into shards of light, screaming in a language older than humanity. Cho whispered, "It's beautiful and terrifying." The holographic interface pulsed with Echelon's warning. "To sever the cycle, one universe must die." Rin's jaw clenched. "Cho, it's asking us to choose." Her voice was soft but firm. "Admiral, if we fail, all life ends. If we act, we may lose our own reality." Rin stared at Neptune's glowing weapon, then at the reclaimer's devouring Sol. Then we act. Echelon's engines ignited fully, sending shockwaves through the system. Stars themselves bent slightly under the force, sending ripples across the galaxy. Rin's fleet braced, synchronized with Echelon. Prepare to make history, or be erased. In the distance, the first reclaimer paused, sensing the approaching storm. Time, space, and humanity's fate converged in a single, momentous instant. The fleet surged forward, engines screaming through warped space as Echelon projected a protective halo. Reclaimers struck like living voids, consuming light and matter with impossible speed. "Admiral," a tactical officer shouted. "Shields won't hold for long." Rin gritted his teeth. "Then we push. Echelon, project defensive matrix on all vectors." Energy beams lanced from Neptune, synchronized with human weaponry, striking the first reclaimer in a spectacle of light and shadow. Cho monitored the feedback. "It's adapting, learning from our tactics." Rin's voice was calm steel. "Then we force it to learn fast." The reclaimer flailed under the assault but continued its slow, inevitable consumption of nearby planets. Rin whispered, "This is only the beginning." Sensors screamed as the reclaimers began shifting shape, their forms splitting and recombining in midspace. "Admiral," Cho said, her voice tense. "They're rewriting their biology in real time." Rin tightened his grip on the railing. "Then we escalate. Echelon, initiate adaptive countermeasure protocol Delta 9. A pulse radiated from Neptune, fracturing space-time around the reclaimers and slowing their advance. The fleet moved like one organism, each ship's energy synchronized with Echelon's pulse. Cho gasped. "It's rewriting the reclaimers' patterns, forcing them to obey physics again." Rin's eyes burned with determination. "We're turning their own evolution against them. Keep pushing." The first reclaimer collapsed mid-shift, leaving a voided husk drifting in orbit. Holographic projections flickered across the fleet. Ancient battles, star systems sacrificed, civilizations erased. "Admiral," Cho said quietly, "Echelon is showing us how the first rebellion failed and survived." Rin's jaw clenched. "Then we learn from history, not repeat it." Energy from Neptune's core began weaving through the fleet, enhancing ships and weapons with technology older than recorded time. Cho touched a console, deciphering star maps in rapid succession. "It's guiding us to weak points. Harvest nodes across the galaxy." Rin's eyes narrowed. "Then we hit the heart before it consumes the rest." Outside, reclaimers paused mid-assault, sensing the power flowing from Echelon. For the first time, humanity had the advantage. Energy pulses from Echelon strained the fleet's systems. Engines flickered, shields overloaded. "Admiral, we can't maintain this for long." Rin exhaled slowly. "Then we give it everything we've got and pay the price later." Cho watched Neptune tremble beneath Echelon's awakening. "It's hungry for energy. The more we link, the more it consumes." Ships hummed with unprecedented power, weapons firing in perfect unison. Rin's voice rang across the bridge. "We control the weapon, or it controls us." A reclaimer collided with the edge of the fleet, disintegrating under the combined assault. Cho whispered, "Every victory costs something." Rin didn't answer. He stared at the approaching storm of cosmic predators calculating the next strike. The first wave of reclaimers reached Sol's outer planets. The void stretched like a black wound across space. Rin's hand hovered over the command console. "Echelon, focus all energy on the heart of the swarm. Leave nothing standing." Cho nodded, her fingers flying over the controls. "It's the only way to buy time, and maybe save the galaxy." Energy beams from Neptune's core lanced across space, striking reclaimers' central nodes. Explosions rippled through distorted space, sending shockwaves into the void. Rin's voice was calm, but his eyes burned. "We fight not for victory, but for survival." Outside, stars dimmed and brightened under the assault, a cosmic dance of light and destruction. The Harvesters had felt humanity's defiance, and the war for the cycle's control had truly begun. Space itself began to warp. Stars shimmered unnaturally. Planets stretched like glass. Sensors screamed anomalies beyond comprehension. "Admiral," Cho whispered, "the Reclaimers' presence is destabilizing reality. They're not just consuming matter, they're erasing existence." Rin's jaw clenched. "Then we stop them before the entire galaxy disappears." Echelon pulsed, its light bending space-time around Neptune into protective lattices. Ships moved with fluid precision, energy linking them to Echelon's matrix. Cho muttered, "If we don't synchronize perfectly, the Reclaimers will devour entire sectors in seconds." Rin's eyes hardened. "Then, synchronization is everything. Full link, now." Neptune's storms reflected the pulse outward, creating a temporary shield across Sol, humanity's first line against extinction. Scans of the Reclaimers revealed something chilling: central nodes directing the swarm. "Admiral," Cho said, voice trembling, "they have a hierarchy, command cores controlling each wave." Rin leaned forward. "Then we take out the brain, and the body collapses." Outside, massive forms swirled in coordinated patterns, moving with eerie precision across light years. Echelon interfaced directly with the fleet, mapping the command cores. Cho's fingers flew over controls. "If we strike here, here, and here, we can sever their link, but it will overload the fleet." Rin's voice was cold steel. "Then we risk everything. Humanity doesn't have a second chance." As they prepared for coordinated strikes across interstellar voids, Echelon projected holograms of civilizations long erased, cities swallowed by darkness, fleets incinerated in cosmic storms. Cho whispered, "They tried to fight. They all failed." Rin's gaze hardened. "Then we learn from them, not repeat their mistakes." Energy surged through Echelon, imprinting centuries of tactical knowledge onto the human fleet. Cho shivered as a projection showed the First Fleet's sacrifice, stars collapsing to trap the Reclaimers temporarily. Rin's jaw tightened. "They survived long enough to leave us this, and now it's our turn." Outside, Reclaimers sensed the fleet's preparation, shifting strategies in real time. The first wave of the final war was about to begin. A Reclaimer swarm warped directly into the outer Sol system, tearing planets apart with unrelenting hunger. "Admiral!" a pilot shouted. "They're bypassing shields." Rin's voice was iron. "Then we meet them at the breach. Echelon, deploy full offensive lattice." Energy rippled through the fleet, linking weapons and engines into a single, coordinated strike force. Cho monitored Reclaimer adaptation, noting subtle shifts in their structure. "They're learning faster than we anticipated." Rin's eyes narrowed. "Then we force them to learn our way." The first volleys of combined fire hit the swarm, fracturing massive entities into shards of light. The void screamed, but the breach remained. Echelon projected the locations of Reclaimer command cores across multiple star systems. "Admiral," Cho said, "these cores are massive, each one a world-consuming engine." Rin's jaw clenched. "Then we hit them simultaneously. Timing is everything." The fleet split into precision groups, engines screaming as they warped across space toward their targets. Echelon's energy is intertwined with every ship, enhancing targeting systems and weapon potency. Cho muttered, "It's synchronizing with every human mind on the fleet." Rin gritted his teeth. "Then we become the weapon. Strike on my mark." As the first energy beams lanced into the cores, the Reclaimers shuddered, a ripple of destruction across time, space, and existence itself. Echelon's energy coursed through the fleet, linking human minds directly to its core. Lights flickered, consoles overloaded, and alarms screamed. "Admiral," Cho shouted, "the neural link is destabilizing. Some crew are hallucinating." Rin's voice was steel. Maintain focus. Synchronization is our only chance. Pilots gritted their teeth, seeing fragments of past civilizations flash before their eyes. Fleets destroyed, planets erased, worlds consumed. Echelon pulsed again, stabilizing the link. Energy rippled outward, striking reclaimers in calculated precision. Cho whispered, "They're being torn apart, but at what cost?" Rin clenched his fists. "Every victory has a price. Keep the fleet in formation. We're not done yet." The reclaimers retaliated with something new, warping energy tendrils that bypassed shields and disrupted Echelon's pulse. "Admiral, they're learning our frequency. Weapons offline." Rin barked orders. "Switch to adaptive arrays. Echelon, sync to secondary protocols." Energy beams twisted and fractured as reclaimers absorbed some attacks, forcing the fleet to improvise in real time. Cho's hands shook over the controls. "If we fail here, we lose multiple sectors." Rin's eyes narrowed. "Then we hit harder. Divert full energy to the cores." The fleet unleashed synchronized volleys that shattered reclaimer nodes mid-reconfiguration. The void screamed, but the reclaimers continued their advance. Reports poured in. Crews suffering neural feedback from Echelon's link, some screaming in pain, others catatonic. Cho's voice was tight. "Admiral, we can't maintain full sync much longer." Rin stared at the screens. "We either break the link and die, or endure the cost and fight. We endure." The fleet's ships glowed with Echelon's energy, each vessel a conduit for both weapon and consciousness. The first casualties drifted through the void, their ships destroyed but their minds preserved in Echelon's matrix. Cho whispered, "It's absorbing them." Rin's jaw tightened. "Then their sacrifice isn't in vain. Prepare the next strike." Even as pain tore through the fleet, humanity's first coordinated assault against the Harvesters advanced relentlessly. Reclaimer formations split, creating unpredictable attack vectors. Ships dodged and fired in perfect synchrony, guided by Echelon. "Admiral, they're becoming chaotic." Rin's voice was sharp. "Then chaos is what we give them. Fire on all vectors." Energy lances struck reclaimers mid-transformation, fracturing their bodies into inert fragments. The void burned with the detonation of collapsed nodes. Cho analyzed the feedback. "They're still adapting. Every fragment becomes a new threat if left unchecked." Rin's jaw clenched. "Then we finish them. All of them. Echelon, amplify targeting. Now." A chain reaction pulsed through the swarm, forcing reclaimers to collapse into contained voids. Humanity held the line, but at tremendous cost. Echelon's projections revealed the central core, a massive reclaimer engine consuming a young star. Cho gasped. "Admiral, that star is Sol's twin we never detected. If it collapses, entire sectors vanish." Rin's voice was cold steel. "Then we hit it before it finishes. Target everything." The fleet aligned with Echelon, weapons primed for the decisive strike. Energy rippled outward, striking the reclaimer core. Explosions cascaded across the void, shattering matter and warping space itself. Cho whispered, We might actually stop it." Rin's eyes narrowed. "Stop it, or die trying. The cycle ends here, or humanity ends with it." Outside, the void trembled. Stars flickered as if the universe itself held its breath. Echelon projected a holographic map of the Reclaimer's formation, revealing layers of command nodes beyond anything previously observed. Cho gasped. "Admiral, these aren't just swarms. They're coordinated by a central intelligence, a queen, controlling everything." Rin's jaw tightened. "Then we find it and sever the head. Everything else will collapse." The fleet adjusted formation, engines humming in anticipation, energy lances preloaded. "Targeting the queen will take precision," Cho warned, "and the cost could be catastrophic." Rin's gaze burned. Humanity doesn't have the luxury of safe options. Echelon, prepare a full-spectrum assault on the primary core. Outside, reclaimers shifted instinctively, sensing a direct threat to their hierarchy. The void itself seemed to tense in anticipation. Echelon pulsed violently, filling every bridge screen with warnings. Overload imminent. Full integration is lethal to organic vessels. Cho's voice trembled. Admiral, it's telling us this link could kill the fleet. Rin clenched his fists. Then we accept the cost. Better death fighting than annihilation without resistance. Engine cores flared as the fleet synchronized fully with Echelon. The first shockwaves tore through space, striking reclaimer swarms mid-flight. Some fractured instantly. Others adapted, their forms writhing unnaturally. Cho whispered, "If we hold this link too long." Rin's eyes were cold steel. "Then we hold it just long enough to end this cycle." Time, space, and energy converged into a single, unstoppable offensive. Crew members screamed across the fleet as the neural link overloaded human consciousness. Memories and perceptions blurred, merged with Echelon's ancient mind. Cho gritted her teeth. "Admiral, some are losing themselves entirely." Rin's jaw tightened. "Sacrifice is necessary. Keep focus on the targets." Ships fired in perfect unison, their weapons now guided by a hybrid human-echelon cognition. Fragments of the first civilization's history flashed in their minds. Fleets annihilated, worlds erased, and desperate last stands. Cho's voice broke. "It's like we're reliving every failure and every hope." Rin's hands clenched the console. "Then we survive where they could not. Every strike counts. Every life matters." Outside, reclaimers shivered under the synchronized assault. A massive reclaimer, orders of magnitude larger than the rest, warped into Sol's outer orbit. Cho gasped. "That's the Queen! All subordinate swarms are converging." Rin's eyes narrowed. "Then everything we've built leads here. Echelon, focus all energy. Secondary nodes are expendable. Strike the Queen." The fleet braced as the Queen's tendrils warped reality around itself, consuming nearby asteroids in seconds. Echelon pulsed violently, projecting massive energy beams intertwining with fleet weapons. Cho whispered, "We might break reality trying this." Rin's voice was resolute. "Better to risk the universe than watch it vanish without a fight." The first volleys struck the Queen, sending tremors through the reclaimer hierarchy. Shadows fractured, but the Queen remained. The Queen lashed out, tendrils tearing through ships in seconds, rending matter and energy alike. "Admiral," Cho shouted, "we're taking critical losses." Rin's eyes burned. "Then we hold the line. Echelon, initiate maximum harmonic resonance." Energy waves from Neptune's core rippled across the void, striking reclaimer nodes and destabilizing the Queen's coherence. Ships screamed under the strain of full synchronization. Systems overloaded, some vessels breaking apart, yet their linked weapons never faltered. Cho gasped. "It's working. The Queen is fragmenting." Rin clenched his jaw. "Hold the line. Every second counts. Humanity's fate is on the edge of a blade." Outside, the void shimmered violently as the Queen's form began to collapse under the unprecedented assault. The Queen shuddered under the synchronized assault, her massive form fracturing into shards of void energy. Cho's voice trembled. "It's breaking apart." Rin's jaw tightened. "Focus fire. Don't let the remnants regroup." Energy beams from Echelon lanced through the shards, each strike resonating with harmonic precision, destabilizing the reclaimer network. The void screamed as reclaimer subordinates faltered, drifting into chaos. Cho whispered, "The hierarchy. It's collapsing." Rin's eyes burned. "Then we exploit the collapse, strike every node, leave nothing for the harvest to rebuild." The fleet surged forward, weapons synchronized, determined to finish the annihilation. The destruction of the Queen sent ripples through space-time. Stars flickered, gravity wells shifted unnaturally. "Admiral," Cho said. The collapse. It's destabilizing nearby systems. Rin's voice was steel. Then we control it. Echelon. Stabilize the ripple. Energy from Neptune's core spread through the fleet, bending reality enough to prevent mass destruction, but only temporarily. Cho grimaced as reports of minor anomalies reached every ship. Crew hallucinations, temporal distortions, structural stress. Rin whispered, "Every action has consequences. We're seeing the price of defiance." Outside, reclaimer fragments twirled like dying stars, some imploding, others becoming ghostly echoes of the swarm. A sudden pulse emanated from Neptune, sending a wave through the fleet. Humanity has passed the first test. Echelon's voice rang across every hull. Cho gasped. It's communicating directly now. Rin leaned forward. Then tell us, how do we stop the cycle completely? Echelon's projection shimmered, revealing layers of reality beyond human comprehension. The harvest is not merely destructive, it is recursive. It resets civilizations to maintain balance. To end it, a seed of disruption must be planted at the origin. Cho's eyes widened. You mean, the first cycle itself? Rin's jaw clenched. Then our fight isn't just now, it's across time itself. The fleet absorbed the revelation in stunned silence. Echelon projected a plan. Pulses of energy through folded space, targeting moments before previous harvests. Cho muttered, It's insane, but theoretically possible. We could prevent the first cycle, stopping all others. Rin's gaze hardened. Then we prepare. This isn't just survival, it's rewriting history. Neptune's storms roared as Echelon synchronized with the fleet for temporal deployment. Energy arcs stretched between planets, bending space-time into thin ribbons. Cho shivered. If we miscalculate, we erase ourselves. Rin's eyes burned with determination. Better to risk erasure than extinction. The fleet braced, ready to launch humanity's most dangerous strike across the very fabric of the universe. Echelon unleashed the first pulse, a wave of energy folding space and time back upon itself. Stars flickered, reclaimer remnants dissolved into non-existence before they could reorganize. Cho gasped. It's working. The harvest is destabilizing. Rin gritted his teeth. Maintain focus. Every second counts. Humanity's fate depends on precision. Crew members felt time stretching and compressing around them, visions of countless civilizations flashing in their minds. Echelon pulsed again. Second pulse prepared. Full integration required. Cho's voice trembled. We can't hold this much longer. Rin's hand hovered over the command. Then we hold, or we vanish trying. Outside, the first tendrils of temporal disruption stretched across the galaxy, signaling the beginning of the end, or a new beginning. Space twisted around the fleet, stretching and folding like molten glass. Engines groaned, shields flickered, and stars shimmered unnaturally. "Admiral!" Cho shouted. "Structural integrity is failing. We can't hold this much longer." Rin's jaw clenched. "Then we endure. Humanity survives or disappears together." Echelon pulsed, weaving the fleet's energy into the very fabric of time. Crew members felt memories from alternate realities collide with their own. Cho whispered, "It's too much. Some minds won't survive the exposure." Rin's eyes burned with determination. "Then we keep focus. Every pulse brings us closer to the origin." The void itself trembled, as though the universe recognized the temporal intrusion. Echelon projected a vision. The first harvest, civilization stripped bare, a cosmic engine at the center of it all. Cho gasped. "The origin? It's a singularity of control, older than all stars." Rin's voice was steel. "Then that's our target. Every pulse, every strike, must destabilize it." The fleet braced as space folded further, revealing glimpses of impossible architecture spanning reality itself. "Admiral," Cho whispered, The reclaimers are converging here. They're defending their source. Rin nodded. Then we prepare for the final confrontation. Echelon. Link all energy outputs. Nothing can stand against us now. Stars flickered as the fleet moved closer to the origin, a place where physics itself resisted their presence. The fleet entered the outer shell of the origin. Time warped violently. Light bent backward and ships trembled under impossible gravitational flux. Cho's voice was tense. One wrong move. We cease to exist before reaching it. Rin's hands clenched the command rail. Then we move deliberately, strike precisely, and trust Echelon. Energy waves from Neptune synchronized with temporal folds, pushing the fleet forward. Reclaimer remnants attacked with desperate fury, tendrils warping space around the fleet. Cho shouted, "They're tearing the void apart!" Rin's eyes narrowed. "Let them. The moment we reach the core, none of this will matter. Brace for full integration." The fleet surged, a unified organism of flesh, steel, and ancient intelligence toward the impossible heart of the cycle. As the fleet neared the origin, Echelon shimmered into a massive projection, revealing a form both alien and eerily familiar, an intelligence that had witnessed the birth and death of galaxies. Cho whispered, "It's not just a weapon. It's alive." Rin's voice was unwavering. "Then it's the only thing that can guide us through the impossible." Echelon pulsed, energy rippling across space, connecting every human mind to a consciousness older than the universe itself. "I am the remnant of the first rebellion," it spoke, voice echoing in every mind. "I have guided those who survive. The harvest cannot be ended by force alone." Cho's eyes widened. Then, "We've been following its will all along." Rin nodded slowly. "Then we trust it one final time. Lead us to the origin. Show us the way to break the cycle." The fleet advanced, trembling at the threshold of the impossible. The fleet entered the core chamber of the harvest cycle, a massive, rotating singularity of energy, threading the very fabric of time and matter. Cho gasped. "It's consuming everything, not just stars. Reality itself bends around it." Rin's jaw tightened. "Then we strike at its logic, not its flesh. Echelon, link all human consciousness, rewrite the pattern." Neptune's storms flared as Echelon's energy radiated outward, merging the fleet into a single, coherent force. Reclaimer remnants swirled, defensive but powerless against the combined might of humanity and Echelon. Cho whispered, "If we fail here, everything ends." Rin's eyes burned with determination. "Then we do not fail. Strike now." The fleet unleashed the synchronized pulses, energy cascading into the singularity, signaling the beginning of the final, universe-altering confrontation. Energy pulses from the fleet collided with the singularity, fracturing its surface of warped space. Cho shouted, "Admiral, it's splitting, but the gravitational feedback is immense." Rin's jaw clenched. "Hold formation. Every vessel must maintain synchronization." Shards of folded space tore past the fleet, each fragment threatening to erase ships caught in the wrong phase of reality. Echelon pulsed again, harmonizing the fleet's energy into a coherent waveform. Cho gasped. "It's rewriting the singularity, bending its logic back on itself." Rin's voice was steel. "Then we push harder. Humanity survives only if the cycle dies." The void quaked as the first fractures of the harvest pulse spread across the universe. Shards of energy rebounded into the fleet, tearing through shields and causing temporal distortions. "Admiral, multiple ships are caught in feedback loops," Cho cried. Rin's hands clenched the console. "Then we absorb it. Echelon, channel the feedback into the singularity." Every ship became a conduit, human and machine, fusing into a single energy lattice. The void screamed as reality trembled under the strain. Cho's eyes widened. "If we hold this too long, the fleet could cease to exist entirely." Rin's voice was cold fire. Then we hold anyway. There's no second chance. Energy cascaded into the heart of the cycle, sending shockwaves across galaxies. Echelon's voice reverberated through every mind. The harvest cannot be destroyed by force. It must be convinced that balance is no longer required. You are its proof. Cho gasped. We're supposed to teach it humanity's worth? Rin's jaw tightened. Then we show it. Every life, every sacrifice, every pulse we've fired proves our value. The fleet's energy aligned with Neptune's storms, radiating a message of defiance into the singularity. Reclaimer remnants quivered as the core began to waver, responding to the combined human will. Cho whispered, "It's listening." Rin's eyes burned. Then we continue. Strike with purpose, not just force. The void around the singularity shimmered like a living entity considering the universe's next move. Echelon prepared a final pulse, massive enough to destabilize the core entirely. Cho shouted, "Admiral, the energy required will destroy everything near Neptune." Rin's gaze was unwavering. Then everything near Neptune dies, so the universe can live. Shields flared, engines screamed. The fleet synchronized with a precision born of desperation. Energy surged, cascading into the singularity. Reality trembled, folding in upon itself. Cho gasped, feeling every fragment of space-time shift in her mind. Rin whispered, "This is it. Humanity decides its fate." The pulse struck, and the harvest core wavered, uncertain for the first time in eons. The singularity quivered, then splintered. Reclaimer remnants dissipated into harmless fragments of void. Cho's voice trembled. "It's over. The harvest. It's broken." Rin's jaw clenched with relief. Not broken. Convinced. It recognizes humanity's worth. Energy rippled outward, stabilizing space-time. Stars brightened, planets resumed normal orbits. Echelon pulsed one last time. The cycle ends, but the cost is infinite. Remember this lesson, humanity. Cho whispered, "Infinite cost. Some lives are lost forever." Rin stared at Neptune, now calm. The storms subdued. We survived. Humanity survives, and the universe remembers. The fleet drifted in silence, victory heavy but earned. The echoes of the harvest cycle finally stilled. The void was silent. Reclaimer fragments drifted, inert, as stars slowly regained their natural glow. Cho stared at the fleet's status boards. "Admiral, the casualties?" Rin's voice was quiet but firm. "We lost many. Every victory has its price." Neptune's storms had calmed, the planet now a silent monument to the weapon that had saved humanity. Crew members floated, exhausted, minds still tethered to Echelon. Cho muttered, "We've survived, but at what cost?" Rin's eyes scanned the fleet. At the cost of courage, sacrifice, and unity, humanity endured. The remnants of reclaimers were now drifting wreckage, harmless, but the universe remained vast, unpredictable, and watching. Echelon pulsed gently, its energy now a calm resonance across the fleet. The cycle is broken, but vigilance is required. Other harvests may exist, waiting. Cho shivered. "Other harvests? You mean, this isn't the only one?" Rin's jaw tightened. "Then we learn, adapt, and prepare. Humanity must be ready." Echelon's core projected new star maps highlighting anomalies in deep space, possible signs of other cycles. Cho whispered, "It's guiding us, showing us the next threats." Rin nodded slowly. "Then we take what we've learned, train, fortify, and ensure survival." The fleet began repairs, engines warming, but the sense of victory was tempered by the knowledge that the war for existence was far from over. Ships limped back toward safer orbits, damage reports stacking higher than anticipated. Cho scanned each vessel. "We'll need years to recover, if we survive." Rin's gaze softened slightly. Then we start now. Humanity rebuilds, because it must. The crew worked tirelessly, repairing ships, restoring systems, and honoring the fallen through quiet rituals in empty corridors. Echelon hovered silently, assisting in repairs by projecting energy constructs to stabilize damage. Cho smiled faintly. Even after everything, it still helps. Rin's eyes drifted to Neptune, calm and eternal. It isn't just a weapon, it's a reminder that we are never truly alone. For the first time, the fleet felt a tentative peace, fragile but earned. Sensors picked up faint, irregular signals from deep space, distorted echoes resembling reclaimer communications. Cho frowned. Admiral, could there be remnants? Rin's voice was steady. Perhaps, or another cycle awakening. Either way, we must be ready. The fleet set long-range probes, scanning anomalies, aware that silence could be deceptive. Cho muttered, "It's like the universe itself is breathing, waiting." Rin nodded. Exactly. We survived the harvest, but the cosmos is vast, and we've only glimpsed a fraction of its mysteries. Neptune's storms shimmered faintly, as if the planet itself remembered the struggle that had passed and the warnings yet to come. Echelon pulsed again, projecting a final message. Humanity has proven its resilience. Protect knowledge, preserve life, prepare for what the universe tests next. Cho's eyes widened. A directive, not just a warning. Rin's jaw tightened. Then we follow it. Humanity's mission doesn't end here. Survival is just the beginning. The fleet set course for distant sectors, rebuilt and wiser, carrying both the memory of sacrifice and the knowledge of cosmic threats. Cho whispered, "We've changed. Forever." Rin's gaze hardened. Then we are ready, for the universe, for the cycles, for whatever comes next. Neptune faded into the distance, silent but vigilant as humanity ventured further into the void, stronger, united, and watchful. The fleet moved past the edge of the known galaxy, stars stretching like molten light. Cho whispered, "Admiral, this is uncharted space." Rin's jaw clenched. Then we map it. Every anomaly, every echo, knowledge is our weapon now. Echelon projected subtle energy waves, scanning distant clusters for hidden threats. Its presence was calm but powerful. Cho studied the readings. It's quiet here, almost too quiet. Rin's eyes narrowed. Quiet doesn't mean safe. We remain vigilant. The fleet advanced, engines synchronized with Neptune's lingering energy pulse, carrying the weight of history and the promise of vigilance into the void. Echelon pulsed unusually, its projection shimmering. Humanity's survival is not a chance. I was assigned to guide the species through the harvest. My purpose is bound to your existence. Cho gasped. You're part of the cycle, and yet you're helping us? Rin's voice was quiet, reverent. Then we owe everything to it, and yet we must remain independent. Echelon's voice resonated in unison across all ships. I am the last remnant of the first rebellion. My choice is to assist or watch civilizations perish endlessly. You have proven worthiness. Remember, vigilance is eternal. Cho whispered, "It's alive in a way we can't even imagine." Rin nodded. Then we honor it by surviving, by remembering, and by moving forward. Repairs completed, ships gleamed under distant starlight. Crews, weary but determined, stood ready for new missions. Cho smiled faintly. We're ready, Admiral, for whatever comes next. Rin's eyes burned with quiet determination. We survived the harvest. Now we ensure the galaxy remembers humanity. Echelon pulsed a final wave of energy, stabilizing the fleet's systems and marking the conclusion of its guiding mission. Cho whispered, "It's leaving, or maybe just waiting." Rin's gaze turned outward. Either way, humanity carries the torch now. The fleet surged forward, united, disciplined, and alive with purpose. Memorials were projected across every ship, names of the fallen, sacrifices etched into holographic stars. Cho whispered, "Every life, every pulse, it mattered." Rin's voice was firm. "Then we honor them. Humanity doesn't forget." Neptune glowed faintly in the distance, a silent sentinel marking the battle that changed everything. Sensors detected distant ripples, subtle anomalies in folded space, reminders that the universe was alive and watchful. Cho muttered, "The cycle. It might return someday." Rin nodded slowly. "Then we prepare. Humanity survived once. We will survive again." The fleet moved forward, carrying memory, vigilance, and hope into the uncharted cosmos. Light from distant stars bathed the fleet, golden and serene. The void, once ominous, now seemed alive with possibility. Cho whispered, "We've changed forever." Rin's voice softened. "Yes, but stronger, united, and ready." Neptune, now calm, faded into the distance, a monument to sacrifice, survival, and the dawn of a new cosmic era. Echelon pulsed one final time, a silent wave, almost like a blessing, before vanishing beyond perception. Cho smiled faintly. "It trusted us, and we didn't fail." Rin's eyes swept the horizon. "Humanity survives. The harvest cycle ends. But our story has only just begun." The fleet surged forward, engines roaring in quiet triumph, carrying hope into the infinite universe. The end. Thank you for watching AstroMyths. If you enjoyed this story, smash that like button and subscribe for more epic sci-fi tales, cosmic mysteries, and mind-bending myths. And if you like this story or have a myth, mystery, or galaxy you'd like us to explore, drop your ideas in the comments. We're always listening. Until next time, keep your eyes on the stars and your mind open to the unknown.